Lady Tasha's prestigious all-girls boarding school is a boarding facility for all girls high. The students are known for their high level of discipline and spirituality. Many of the staff that work at Lady Tasha are Reverend sisters and nuns. The rich, the high and the mighty in Kadibia Township and beyond brings their girl children to be brought up and taught in the way of the Lord. Most of the Reverend sisters are educationists who believe in excellence, discipline, and good morals. None of the girls ever thought about disobeying the school rules and regulations. The Reverend sisters frown at it. The best kind of life is the disciplined, cultured kind of life, and that's what we are here to give you, said Mother Teresa, the Mother General of Lady Tasha's High. Ever since Kate and her three gang members who were expelled from St. Monica were accepted into Lady Tasha's all-girls prestigious school, things have fallen apart, and the center indeed have not held. Her gang had been expelled from St. Monica's convent. They began by bribing the chief security officers, who would in turn allow them to smuggle in their phones, smartwatches, and all their fancy gadgets. Once they have smuggled their phones and gadgets into the hostel, they will make use of their phones while inside the hostel to control activities both inside and outside the school. We run things here and we make life fun for ourselves. The nun and Reverend sisters, they are both dry bones. They don't want to enjoy life and they don't want others to enjoy either, said Kate, the leader of the 4G's gang. Kate is the only daughter of Senator Kanayo, a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They were the big girls in the school: Kate, Susan, Cheryl, and Zainab. Kate was their leader. After she was expelled from St. Monica's, her parents looked for a very serious school. They wanted the best for her. After seeing the daughter of their best friend, Senator Linus, become a stripper and a drug addict, they were determined to set things straight for their only daughter. They scanned through many options: convents, missionary schools, anything that could get their daughter become morally upright and decent girl. After much search, they found Lady Tasha prestigious all-girls boarding school. They were excited and hopeful. Before then, Senator Kanayo, as he was popularly known amongst his circle of friends, and his wife, Ugo, had spoiled their only daughter to stupor. After seeing what Regina, Senator Linus's daughter, turned into, they had sat together to tell themselves the honest truth. When Kate was born, the third child of Senator Kanayo and his wife, Ugo, it was but a dream come true. The distinguished senator and his dear wife, Ugo, now has a daughter they could pamper. Kate was the apple of her parents' eyes. She lacked nothing, and her every whim and desire were indulged without hesitation. As Kate grew, so did her sense of entitlement. Her parents' constant pampering and indulgence created a bubble around her, insulating her from the realities of the world. Now at her teenage age, Kate had become unruly and wild, driven by a desire to push boundaries and seek excitement. Madame Ugo and her husband stopped at nothing in pampering Kate. She wore designer clothes, attended the finest of schools, and together with friends from equally rich background, they became restless, pushing far into behaviors that is unacceptable. It was when Regina, Senator Linus's daughter and a friend to Kate, became addicted to hard substances at the age of 15. That was when Senator Kanayo and his dear wife Ugo started running around for their daughter, who is beginning to show signs of towing the same path as Regina. By the time they went through her social media platforms, they saw all the people their daughter associates with: porn addicts, drug addicts, and morally derailed individuals. Senator Kanayo and his wife had never been so scared. That is when they started asking around for missionary boarding school. They were able to first enroll her at St. Monica's convent. After she had gone back to school, they breathed a sign of relief. Katie is in good hands now. The sisters and nuns does not fail in disciplining the girls and giving them quality education. But it was heartbreaking when they started getting complaints back to back. For the first time, Madam Ugo went to book mass for her daughter. She prayed that she will accept the discipline and be of good behavior. It didn't take up to 6 months. Kate was expelled from St. Monica's. She was expelled on the ground of unruly behavior. She disobeyed the school authorities. Every week, there was a fresh complaint about Kate. 2 weeks after Kate was enrolled at St. Monica's, she slapped the school senior prefect, who asked her to kneel because of her lateness to school. Kate looked at Senior Isioma, the senior prefect of St. Monica's, with disdain. "You poor brat," Kate thundered. "Will you get out of my sight?" But Isioma would not budge. She threatened to report her to the Mother General if she doesn't comply. "You are going to report me," said Kate sarcastically, as she landed Isioma a hot dirty slap. "At least you can see enough things to report me for." Mother General was indignant on hearing Kate's report. She didn't waste any time at suspending her. Kate was soon back from her suspension. She hated the school and even wanted an expulsion from them. One Thursday morning, it was time for moral classes. "That boring class," Kate said as she went back to the hostel and started sleeping. Sister Mary was soon on the hostel round checks, a check in the hostel to see if there are students who are not complying with the school rules. She saw Kate lying comfortably on her bed at the hostel, sleeping. She woke her up, scolding her for being at the wrong place at the right time. Kate shoved her aside and continued to sleep, but Sister Mary continued to wake her up, this time around more vehemently. Kate got up and, with all the anger she could summon, gave her a hot dirty slap. Sister Mary almost fainted. She flogged Kate severally, dragging her to the Mother General's office. As the Mother General scolded at Kate, she shouted back at her, and before you could say jack, she also landed a hot dirty slap on the Mother General's face. The Mother General sat quietly on her chair and drafted Kate's expulsion letter. She quickly called Senator Kanayo. "Please, sir, there is an emergency and both you and your wife are needed right away." Upon the arrival of Senator Kanayo and his wife, the principal, the Mother General, explained all that had happened to them. "Your daughter has been expelled on the basis of gross misconduct and can no longer be condoned by the school, lest one rotten egg end up spoiling the whole crate of egg." The Mother General further explained what had happened. Senator Kanayo and his wife pleaded for the school to give her one more chance, but the Mother General was adamant on her decision. They finally packed her bags as she followed her parents home. As Senator Kanayo and his wife continued to search for another school, Kate was neither remorseful nor sober at home. She would shout at her driver and the chef and all the domestic staffs. "You old fool! Look at the omelette you made me. Is this how you make omelettes? Look at how tasteless this omelette is," Kate shouted at the chef one morning, landing the plate of omelette on his face. Kate was 15 as at the time, young, bold and unruly. Senator Kanayo was growing increasingly worried on how many things he had to deal with. The number one source of his worry, however, was his daughter's behavior. His wife, Ugo, however, was in a dilemma. She loves her only daughter and would love to see her do good. She continued to book mass on Kate's behalf, believing that soon enough, the change she needed would come. Though she had pampered Kate during her childhood days. But she's not the only mother that had pampered her daughter. Or why is her case becoming different? After a long, hard search, Senator Kanayo and his wife, Ugo, discovered Lady Tasha prestigious all-girls boarding school. It was located at Kadibia Township. The school is a masterpiece of its own, with high fences and all the amenities. Lady Tasha was a new discovery for Senator Kanayo and his wife. When they learned that the school was run by Reverend sisters who had received special training abroad on education and child management, they were ecstatic. Their secret prayers had indeed received an answer. They swiftly swung into action, preparing their only daughter for the lifetime transformation she needed. They registered her in the school and were relieved to have found a place like Lady Tasha. Though the tuition was high, it was worth it. They also paid for extra classes and some extra provisions. With all they have put in place, the Kanayos can now beat their chest that their daughter will finally be transformed. Kate was not happy with her parents' decision. These people want me to live in a bondage, in this kind of place. Take a look at these high fences. How do I go out for clubbing to catch fun? She was devastated, and to think that this school is similar in administration to St. Monica, except that the sisters at Lady Tasha had received extra training abroad, making Lady Tasha more expensive. Kate found out a way to send word across her three other friends, Sandra, Cheryl, and Zainab, who had been expelled from St. Monica's shortly after her expulsion. Convince your parents to send you to Lady Tasha prestigious all-girls boarding school. We can run things and create our own world. With her three friends' registration at Lady Tasha High, Kate's dream had finally come true. This time around, they are going to run things underground and no one would find out. They started their escapades by bribing the chief security officer. At first, it seemed like a wild goose chase, but later, the coast began to clear and the chief security officer, Mr. Steve, was ready to talk business. As for Kate and her friends, money has never been an issue for them. Their monthly pocket money as students runs in six figures, and with it, they know that a lot of things are possible. Even while Kate was in her basics, her parents, Senator Kanayo and his dear wife, Ugo, had always given her more than what she needed. After all, they were stupendously rich. Every day from school, she would stop at the shopping mall. With her 10,000 naira extra snacks money, she could buy all she dreams to take as snacks. Most of her classmates are fat, very fat, because of the kind of snacks they take every day. Kate was very lucky. No matter what she eats, she always had a great shape. She was naturally slim, a shape that she was so proud of. Despite all she ate, she had always boasted to her friends, "When Kate can't be fat or anything close to it, it's in my DNA," she boasted. In her high school, her monthly pocket money is 500,000 naira. At first, Mr. Steve was adamant about the girls' offer. The girls, however, relentless with their offers, they pushed further and further with their bargain, and by the time they offered him 300,000 naira, Mr. Steve knew he could no longer resist it, as his wife also pressed on him vehemently. "You don't want to be rich, Abby? These children are here offering you 300,000 naira, three times of your monthly salary, and you dare to refuse. You are wicked though. Little wonder poverty has decided to stick on your body like a badge. Consider our children now. They will at least go to a decent school. Do you mean to say you care for the daughter of a senator? The same people who have sapped the country dry. What do you care about his daughter? After all, na the money me and you suppose dey enjoy. Ain't carry give am. Get the money from the stupid girl jare. Use it and better the life of your children. If she likes, let her chook her head inside fire. Na her business." Madam Nkechi, Steve's wife, sang the song like a sermon to her husband's ears every evening once he comes back from work and every morning before he leaves. Within a week's time, Mr. Steve's mind was finally made up. He decided to smash integrity under his foot for the big deal Kate offered him. After he entered the deal with Kate and her friends, at the end of the month, the four girls will pay him 300,000 naira in agreement that he will always open the gates whenever they want to go out, whether it's for partying or for clubbing or whatever. Mr. Steve, the chief security officer, now has two masters who he serves at a time: the school authority of Lady Tasha all-girls prestigious boarding school and the 4G's gang, Kate and her friends. Every night, they get dressed in their party dresses, designer dresses, shoes, and their luxury hair, and they are good to go catch fun. Who told Dad I want to be a reverend sister? Those dry bones. Please, I must enjoy myself the way I want it. Dad, I'm doing well in school, Kate will call. But I have one problem. The pocket money you give me is barely enough. I'm currently doing a project, a terrific project. I want to be able to launch a space capsule into orbit, just like Elon Musk, and make both you and mommy so proud. Senator Kanayo will grin happily as his daughter chats him from the computer lab in the evening. Wow, that's very great. I would double your pocket money, said the distinguished senator. The very next day, Senator Kanayo sent Kate ₦1,000,000 as her pocket money. It was double of what she previously received. He told his wife of the recent development. My daughter is really good in technology. She has the dream of joining Elon Musk's team up at the moon, and I have to support her by any means possible. This is indeed the real transformation our daughter needed. On visiting day, the senator will also shower some gifts on the Mother General. My daughter has really been transformed under your tutorage. We are immensely grateful, Senator Kanayo and his wife will say. Meanwhile, Kate and her friends were always outside the school premises every night. They would either go to nightclubs or parties to catch some fun and come back the next morning. Their phones were always with them at the hostel, despite the school rules that banned the use of phones. Mr. Steve always helped them hide the gadgets whenever there is a normal hostel search for contraband. Mr. Steve's finances kicked up. He relocated to a more decent apartment, enrolled his children to a better school just within 3 months of entering into a deal with Kate. Everything was working out perfectly until one Saturday when the girls went for their normal clubbing. Kate's new boyfriend insisted that she leaves the school and come and live with him. Kate did not think twice about it. After all, she hates Lady Tasha's school with all her heart. Her boyfriend, on the other hand, can provide her with all she ever wanted. After all, he's a rich guy. Convinced it was her chance at living her life as wildly and fully as she had ever wanted, Kate did not come back to the hostel. She moved in with her boyfriend. Her 3 friends, Sandra, Cheryl, and Zainab, persuaded her all they could, but Kate would not budge. Live your life to the fullest and damn the consequences, she screamed at the girls as she joined her boyfriend to his house. When they saw that there was nothing else they could do, the 3 girls moved back to the hostel. This time, they came in without Kate. As Mr. Steve opened the gate for them in the early hours of the morning, he was surprised to see only but the other 3 girls coming. "Where is Kate?" the terrified Mr. Steve asked. "We don't know," replied the girls. "While we were at the clubhouse, Kate went missing," came their reply. That was when things began to fall apart. During the head count at the assembly, it was discovered that one of the girls is missing. Sister Mary Jane informed the Mother General. Kate was missing. Senator Kanayo and his wife were informed about their missing daughter. That same day, they were at Lady Tasha's prestigious girls. They deployed some police and volunteer workers. They searched for Kate far and wide the school premises. A lot of people were interrogated, but all of them claimed not to know of her whereabouts. It was a hard blow for Senator Kanayo and his wife. The picture of Kate was all over the social media as the missing daughter of Senator Kanayo, who disappeared from the hostel at Lady Tasha prestigious school. On that fateful day that Mrs. Ugo received a phone call of her daughter's disappearance, her world was shattered. Kate was missing. The boarding school authorities had searched every corner of the campus, but to no avail. Desperation and fear consumed Ugo as she rushed to the school, following up on every move to find her daughter. As days turned into weeks, and despite the exhaustive searches and efforts by the several authorities, there was no trace of Kate. Ugo was inconsolable as she cried until her eyes were swollen, mourning the disappearance of her only daughter. She would often sit outside the security house in the cold of the night, waiting to hear if there will be a knock on the school gate. Family and friends tried to comfort her, but their words were hollow and meaningless. Ugo refused to be consoled. for her heart was heavy with a pain that words could not heal. Senator Kanayo finally managed to convince her to come back home, but even when she was back, grief could not leave her. She barely talked to anyone. Her domestic staff tried their best, hoping that one day Madame Ugo would pull through. Every night, she would light a candle to the window, hoping that somehow Kate would find her way back home. Things grew from bad to worse until one day Ugo slumped. She went into coma, but even while she lay there at the intensive care unit of the hospital bed, her spirit could not rest. One day, Mr. Steve heard a footstep walking outside the school's security house. The step sounded like the one he knew. It was the same step that sounded as Madame Ugo paced up and down outside the school security as she stayed outside countless nights looking for her daughter. The terrified Mr. Steve summoned up courage and opened his door, flashing the torchlight. Lo and behold, there was Madame Ugo, wearing her pencil-mouthed shoe and pacing up and down. I thought they said this woman is in coma and has been in the hospital for 3 weeks. But he was not mistaken. The steps were exactly hers. As he flashed the light on her face, he was terrified with what he saw. The figure appeared to be a woman, dressed in a flowing white gown that flowed with the rhythm of the night breeze. Her face was pale and sorrowful, her eyes empty and haunting. As Mr. Steve turned to move away, she walked briskly behind him, holding out her hands. "Where is my daughter?" the ghost thundered. She went to the nightclub with her friends, but never came back, came Mr. Steve's terrified response. Back at the hostel, the three friends, Sandra, Cheryl, and Zainab, were contemplating on what to do. But the drama of the previous nights left them with no option. Sandra had seen a ghost. She marched with a high-heeled shoe, making some noise as she approached her bed. She wiped her eyes, trying to make sure that she was not dreaming. As she approached her bed in the dark of the night, her face was sorrowful, her eyes empty and haunting. As she opened her mouth, her teeth was dark and terrifying. "Where is my daughter?" the ghost thundered. Sandra wanted to talk, but was too terrified to say a word. "Where is my daughter?" the ghost bellowed again. Sandra had no option than to say it. We went to a night party together and she followed her boyfriend home. "So you knew where my daughter has been all this while, and yet you kept quiet." "Sorry ma, I would tell the school authority first thing in the morning." It was like a dream but was so real. As the ghost disappeared, Sandra saw herself surrounded by some students as many of them flashed their torch to see whom she might be talking to. But there was no one. The next morning, the news was all over the school, and Mother General soon heard of it. "You girls are so heartless," she fired at Sandra, Cheryl, and Zainab. "You knew something about her whereabouts, and you've kept quiet all these 3 long months." Not long after the girl's confession, Mr. Steve was arrested by the police. The nightclub where the last went before Kate decided to run away with her boyfriend was grounded, and the search for Kate or her boyfriend began in the earnest. Later that day, one of the bartenders, who knew where Kate's boyfriend resides, took the school authority to his house. There, they saw Kate tied hands and feet in one of the man's boys' quarters, with bruises all over her body. For the past 3 months, Kate had been in torment. She had neither come outside nor seen under the sun. She had always been asking God for forgiveness, promising that if God delivers her from the hands of Mr. Jabba, she would turn a new leaf. She would never be a source of concern to her parents, nor disobey school authorities. Mr. Jabba had promised her heaven on earth, but unknown to her, he had a cartel where they kidnap people and use their meat for pepper soup after killing them. Mr. Steve was arrested by the police, as well as Mr. Jabba. While Mr. Steve received a 5-year sentence in prison, Mr. Jabba was sentenced to death by hanging. Kate was rushed to the hospital, the same hospital where Madame Ugo had been in coma for the past 1 month. As she received treatment and gradually recovered, Every day, she would cry at her mother's bed, praying for forgiveness. "I will never disobey you again, mommy. Please, mom, wake up." After a week, Madam Mugo opened her eyes to see Kate kneeling beside her. Her joy knew no bound as they embraced each other. "I will never make you worried, never again," Kate promised. This story teaches parents to wake up to their duty of child upbringing. No matter how busy and rich you are, money can't train up your child. Remember, it is better to train up a child than to repair an adult. Hope you enjoyed this story. Please give it a thumbs up. What do you think of the way Kate was brought up? Share with us on the comment section and kindly subscribe as we load you with interesting and educative stories on African Tales by Amanda.